Yo, what's going on, my fellow friends and supporters? It's your main man, Six Paths Dunga, back again with yet another video. If you guys didn't notice, I took a few days off just to reset my mind and get ready to come out gunning for chapter 20 because I knew it was gonna be one for the books. And not only was I right, it was even better than I expected because this chapter revealed so much about some unknown narratives that still to this day were a mystery in the Boruto series. So strap up and get ready to dive deep as we just break down Sarada's Mangekyou Sharingan abilities and see if we could crack her new ability down until we all understand it more. So when the chapter dropped on the 18th, I streamed it as soon as it dropped and we went through all of it together on stream. So if you was one of those people that was tuned into the stream, then go ahead and comment stream gang. And don't lie because I'm gonna know if you was there or not. But anyways, I know you guys just want to hop into the video as much as I do, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. So it's no big surprise that Sarada finally unleashed her Mangekyou Sharingan to help defeat Ryu. They were cornered majorly and they were running out of options. Araya still didn't have his sword that let him absorb and dissipate the iron sand, and Mitsuki as well as Yoda were convincingly defeated against him. So all eyes were pointed towards Sarada to just make something happen. Either that, or else they were just going to be gravely injured in this fight, or worst case scenario, they all die. Without Kawaki making an appearance or Boruto joining in to help, it looks like they were on their own from the very start. Nobody was just going to come magically swoop in to save them, and we can see that very clear now. So after Mitsuki and Araya were defeated by Ryu, he demanded them to give up any intel they had on Boruto or his accomplice, whether that be their location, weakness, abilities, any type of intel they had on him, and he'll let them go free. So Yoda opts to tell him where Boruto is, but of course Sarada refuses. No real surprises there. So Yoda asks her why she would go so far for a rogue shinobi who committed such heinous crimes, but then she immediately follows up on that and says it's probably because he's the type of guy who makes you want to have his back when the rest of the world hates him. She understands that feeling because she thinks of Shinji that way. Which is kind of crazy to say because comparing Boruto's circumstances right now to Shinji, it's completely night and day. Not to say Shinji isn't going through hardship or never went through hardship, but speaking just strictly on how Yoda feels about Shinji in comparison to Boruto, he's not as nearly as hated as Boruto, even to the point where he was exiled from his own village. But yeah, I understand that's not nearly as important to be talking about it to this degree, so let's just stay locked in here. So Yoda tries to negotiate with Ryu by offering to use her enemy detection skills to help Ryu find Boruto in exchange for their lives. And he just impales her through the chest and officially leaves Sarada as the only one standing now. So right here before Yoda falls unconscious, she actually helps Sarada out in a major way. She informs Sarada that she's hiding her power behind a psychological delusion that she carries. It's really holding her back, and that's because she doesn't really know herself. She doesn't understand why she wants to be strong. Or she does know, but she's afraid to admit it. She wants to become stronger. She wants to be able to protect the people she loves and cares for. But most of all, she wants to protect Boruto because of the circumstances that he's currently in. When she says this, she finally starts to understand how she really feels deep down inside. It's like she found her why to everything she's been doing up to this point. She was subconsciously nerfing herself, but not anymore, because she finally come to terms with her power and decided to use it for what she always wanted to use it for, to protect Boruto. And it's always been like this. Even the first time she awakened her MS, it was because of her yearn for power. She knew how helpless she was in this situation. She couldn't do anything to help Boruto other than to just cry to her father to help him. That pain and knowing how much power she actually lacked in that situation must have pushed her over the edge to finally awaken the Mangekyou Sharingan. And like in that context, it's happened again exactly 20 chapters later. But now, unlike then, she's actually using it in action for its purpose. Okay, so now let's really start the deep dive on the new MS reveal. So right away, as soon as she activated it, the iron sand that was covering her and the rest of the shinobi were absorbed into what seemed to be a black hole. Now, regardless of what it looks like, you could say a black hole, vortex, whatever. I'm gonna just state the obvious. It does resemble Kamui in more ways than one, but I'm saying this just so I can make myself completely clear. It is indeed not Kamui. It's a completely new MS that we never seen before. As Mitsuki says, the iron sand is being sucked in. It does work like Kamui though, it's sucking in the iron sand. Now when Sarada fights Ryu with her MS, we will have a ton of extra information to add on to our long list of possibilities regarding this ability. So first and foremost, I stated on stream that since this ability has a strong resemblance to Kamui, in the aspect that it literally allows the user to transfer objects or substances from one location to another, possibly another dimension, I think it's safe to say this ability qualifies as space-time ninjutsu. Now knowing this, there's a few abilities that could be diluted from these findings. And one of them was the ability could allow Sarada to absorb anything into this black hole and use it against them. But it's not as simple as just absorbing the attack and using it against your opponent. How it's going to be different than your average Rinnegan or Karma will be how it's executed. You see, with Sarada, whatever ability she absorbs into this black hole becomes her own, but only for a period of time. She'll be able to fully comprehend and understand these abilities to the point where she can perform these exact abilities with outstanding accuracy. So in other words, with her absorbing this iron sand into this black hole, she would not only be able to completely negate Ryu's ability to use his iron sand in this fight, but she'll be able to use the iron sand that she's absorbed and manipulate it with her chakra to the point where she can use it against Ryu for a short period of time. I only say this because we simply have no idea where these things go after they're absorbed into this vortex-like hole. It could be sent to another dimension like Kamui, it could be sent out of reality completely, that making it more like a black hole. Or it could be something that I mentioned just now, a gateway for Sarada to send these techniques into so she can analyze the abilities to be able to use them for her own purposes. We can tell whatever it is, it has a very strong gravitational pull, and it looks like it's not affecting Ryu or any of the other shinobi gravity-wise, meaning it's not pulling anybody into it. So with that, it probably means that Sarada can target something specific and only apply this gravitational pull towards that one thing. And this could be any type of object, jutsu, or even substance. I mean, there's also a possibility that you can't pull real life people into it, or living beings, but if you was to ask me, I think it's actually more likely that she can target what she wants to be sucked into this black hole. Otherwise, the kunai probably would have been sucked in too, just judging how strong a black hole's gravitational pull is. So from just this aspect of her MS, I'm really confident in this just being a black hole. Black holes have intense gravity that is so dense that even light can't escape it. And inside it lies a singularity, a point of infinite density where the laws of physics completely break down. And all matter that falls into the event horizon is compressed. So in simpler terms, whatever enters a black hole never comes out. It's impossible to escape. So that breaks down what one ability is. And as you know, MS users normally have two abilities, and the abilities usually go hand in hand. So let's say the main ability is for her to suck in any targeted thing into a black hole, and the other ability would be what she can do with that thing she's absorbed. I think that would take her new power to the next level. So yeah, like I stated, one of her abilities could be to just use whatever she's absorbed against them, similar to just copying the technique. So like for example, if she were to absorb a water-based technique, or any jutsu in general, she'd be able to perform that ability for an extended period of time. But only if it's tangible, meaning she can't absorb genjutsu into a black hole because it's not something you can touch. This puts a very necessary limitation on a much overpowered ability, just to still maintain balance in her character. But another one of the abilities that I mentioned on stream would be a way for her to use this black hole to seal away these abilities forever. If Sarada could permanently remove someone's ability to use a specific technique or move with just the absorption of that ability, then her MS would be among the most powerful we ever seen before. And it would fit along the theme of it being a black hole. The ability would essentially be trapped within that space, no longer existing in this realm. So that would make this a ceiling type MS. So in the story now, let's say after Sarada uses her MS to absorb all of Ryu's iron sand, he's no longer able to use the ability against her or anyone else ever again. He wouldn't be able to make more or manipulate it with his chakra because of it being absorbed into the black hole. essentially sealing away the ability from reality forever. As I think this will fit into the narrative that Sarada wants to protect those she loves most from danger and pain, and this would be one of the best ways to do that. So that would be the other ability besides her main ability to just suck everything into the black hole. And I also heard a lot of people compare her ability to Itachi's Susanoo ability, the Totsuka blade and sake jar, because of her Sharingan sealing properties. Essentially, like the Totsuka blade and sake jar, her MS would suck in these substances into the black hole for all eternity. And depending what is being targeted, that determines what gets dragged into the infinite space. So instead of it being a literal blade that has to pierce the target, I guess hers is more conventional because she can use her vision to literally determine her target. That's why she was able to single out the iron sand and not absorb anything else by mistake. No people, kunai, or even the sand already on the ground, just the iron sand. So for the sake of me not repeating what I already said multiple times, let's just say whatever she has waiting in her arsenal, she definitely has the ability to take any targeted attack, or maybe it doesn't even have to be an attack. Maybe she can do it to actual people. I mean, now thinking about it, I don't see why she wouldn't be able to do that. So let's say she has the ability to suck any substance, object, or organism into this black hole, and in there, it can sit for all eternity without the limitation of weight, size, or density. And that's how she will defeat Ryu and save Shinki. I'll also throw in a little extra because we know she's gonna be able to use her Susanoo now that she's really awakened her MS. I want to say that her Susanoo will be red, the color that is heavily associated with passion, desire, and strong emotions. So regarding all the videos I actually have to make on this reveal, this is only like 1 out of 5. I want to talk about her EMS, Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, the actual fight against Ryu, how this has to do with her immunity to omnipotence, even how this affects a potential Boruto and Sarada relationship down the line. So if you're somewhat excited to see those videos later on, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload a new video, or go live to go over the chapter spoilers, or in this month's case, the official releases. Sarada's MS reveal has changed the entire dynamic of the story that honestly, I wasn't even ready for. And it's only gonna get better from here on out. And we're gonna learn so much more about what she can truly do in the very next chapter. I'm happy to say, I won't be making that video on Sarada being a flop. I can see the vision. I was a fool, and I wanna apologize to the Sarada fanbase. Y'all got it, man. I'll be sure not to make that same mistake again. But yeah, without further ado, I'll see you boys and girls in my next video. And I'm out. Peace.